Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sorry I'm a little late. You can hear me? Yes? Okay. Um, uh, Fell a little bit behind today. I showed a message with a schedule for next coming several days, and just uh, just two small changes. Actually, one change. Well, two changes. Today's the same schedule. Tomorrow is the same schedule as usual, but on Monday, I will be speaking to the Russian-speaking devotees at their usual time, which is at that's what time? It's 10 o'clock in the morning here, whatever time it is, and I think it's Moscow time. It's 7:30, and on Wednesday, which is Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, I'm going to be speaking to the North American devotees, and class will begin at 6 o'clock in the morning on that day. So that is just this week, a slight change of schedule. I'll post it one more time for just a minute for anybody who needs to see it again, and then I'll begin class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, second volume, chapter 4. Text 96. Tada hididam paranishchitam maya dhruvam svakiya kila janma karmanam palasya labhyasya kila dunapara sima samapta bhagavat kripa bharat. Translation. In my heart, I then concluded that by the great mercy of the Lord, I had now surely gained the ultimate fruit to be acquired from all my prior births and endeavors. Commentary. Having described something of what had happened to him and what he had done in Vaikuntha, Gopakumara now hints at what had been going on in his mind. He had been thinking that he had attained the complete perfection of his life. I'm going to read a couple of more verses also. Aho sukam kidrig idam daruham, aho padam kidrig idam mahishtam, aho mahaschayatara prabhuscha, kidrik tataschayatara kripasya. Translation. Oh, what unimaginable happiness! What an exalted abode! What a wonderful master! And how greatly wonderful his mercy. Commentary. Gopakumar uses the word idam, this, to express that he perceived these wonders directly. but he does little more than show his astonishment, aho, because these glories of Vaikuntha cannot be compared with anything else. To persons who have yet to see them, very little can be said. These glories cannot even be imagined, so they surely cannot be described. Text 98. Ata prabhoschamara vijanatmakam samipasevam kripaya dilambita nijam shavang simranayan samapnavam tad ikshanananda bharam nirantaram. After some time, by the Lord's kindness, I obtained the intimate personal service of fanning him with a chamara, and I constantly felt the bliss of seeing the Lord as I played for him on my flute. Commentary. At first, Gopakumara could see Lord Narayan only in brief audiences. After this initial training, however, he was allowed a regular service at the Lord's side. He earned this privilege not by his own qualifications, but by the Lord's causeless mercy, kripaya. In addition, by virtue of being a naturally expert flute player, Gopakumar had the rare privilege of entertaining Lord Narayan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Garanjana Salakaya Chakshu Unminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Hangam Langayate Garim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundina Taranam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shanyavari Pastachade Satarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Last class we talked text 55. We talked about Gopakumar's simplicity, his naivete, and his nature, which benefited him tremendously from the various places he had visited previously, wherein he was able to absorb and derive satisfaction from every place that he visited without being too overly analytical about what he was being subjected to and with whom he was associating. And we brought out that point from the commentary of the verse that we read later from Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And we also spoke about his qualification of dainya and humility, which was the, so to speak, the crown jewel of his qualities, because that humility that enabled him to actually obtain the full mercy, which was the Lord was very much inclined to give him. And as a result of his qualities, and especially mercy, we see mercy coming up here again in the last verse that we just read, that kripaya, by the mercy of Lord Narayan, he was able to obtain some intimate service But before we get to that, um, I just want to review uh, the two verses we read prior to the third verse, and that is that um, the first, he was saying that he had concluded that by great mercy of the Lord, he had now gained the ultimate fruit to be acquired from all my prior births and endeavors. And as we explained before, uh, Gopakumar felt satisfied by the unique experiences, especially those which he had experienced so far in Vaikuntha. And for some time, he was thinking, this is it. Of course, for him, this was the most complete he felt than from other places he had previously visited. But I should say more complete. It's not the most complete. I would say it's most complete comparatively to the previous places he had visited. But it's not the most complete, which has obviously been discussed many times and will actually uh, be revealed in due course of time. But still, at this particular point, being a newcomer to Vaikuntha, and we're going to read a verse this evening which uh, comes a little bit later, but which also comes to help us understand the nature of the of the newcomers as compared to the ones who've always been there. There's some who've always been there, and there's some who are new to arrive. And as it indicated uh, in this last verse that we just read, where Sanatana Goswami explains in the commentary, he said, at first Gopakumara could see Lord Narayan only in brief audiences. And after this initial training, however, he was allowed a regular service at the Lord's side. Yes, there's training. Uh, Newcomers are trained. In some cases, uh, it's not a, it's a, well, let's put it this way. Even in Goloka, newcomers are trained, but they're trained before they get there. uh, and this is, of course, established by Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he describes that for those aspiring to go to Goloka, for them, they accept a Ragatmaka devotee who's an eternal resident of Goloka Vrindavan, and within their heart, they hear about his activities, they meditate on him, and they aspire to serve in the same mood as they have, whereby they can gradually become qualified to take their birth in appropriate family, in amongst Krishna's eternal associates in Gokul, and get proper training in preparation for Vastu city, their entrance into first is Swarup city, then Vastu city, in preparation for their final ultimate destination. But training is still there, but they take their training prior to arriving in Goloka Vrindavan by accepting an associate of the Lord who serves the Lord in the same mood that they covet, that they aspire for. And Rupa Goswami has given these verses in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. They're also uh, given by Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila, chapter 22. These verses are quoted. And in Gopakumara's case, now he's a newcomer in Vaikuntha. And as I said, I wanted to read a verse that comes a little bit later, but which also explains the difference between those who are eternally situated in Vaikuntha according to their particular moods of service, and those who are newcomers. There's a distinction, and it's explained in this same chapter, chapter 4. I'll read a couple of verses, and then we'll get back to this point about Gopakumara's training. uh, we've already seen, it's not something new. It's not the first time we've been exposed to it in Gopakumara's uh, association with Vaikuntavasis. We've seen attempts made to, I don't want to say mold him, but attempts made to enlighten him about his next destination and what to speak of once he was there. There were attempts made to encourage him to adopt the same mood which those who are residents there, eternal residents of there. And as we'll read coming up in the just next verses, I think that the very next verse, although we probably won't read them today, what happens when Gopakumara starts chanting Krishna, Gopal, and calling out the names of Sankirtan. And when those who are around him hear this, they come and say, this is not the place for that. And because their conviction is that the Lord is much more satisfied with reverential prayers, and because that's what they know, that's what they experience, that's the reciprocation they get from worshiping the Lord in that worshiping the Lord in that mood, and because they're all of that same mood, therefore they're going to say a few things, but I won't go into too much of those details because those are the very next verses we'll read. Probably won't be on Wednesday. No, Wednesday is Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. Probably next Saturday. Anyways, so let me read this verse, or two verses, from this chapter. They're verses 194 and 195. Some of these residents of Vaikuntha are eternal associates of Lord Krishna, and others have come here by his mercy, having gained the privilege to enter. This we've already discussed as threadbare as I could possibly discuss it, how it was Krishna's mercy, special mercy, uh, in which, from which Gopakumar had the opportunity to take his birth in Govardhan, and then to gain the association of Jayanta, and gradually come to where he is now in Vaikuntha, and where the Lord has specifically expressed to him, I've been waiting so long for you. And it was all mercy. And as we see in each indication from the verses we read today, twice, again, the word kripaya, it was the Lord's mercy. It was the Lord's mercy in the first verse that we read, that what was it? Sorry, I'm lost. Oh, yes. In my heart, I concluded that by great mercy of the Lord, I achieved the ultimate fruit. I've achieved that place uh, that will be the complete perfection of my life. And also, uh, the intimate service was also a result of the Lord's mercy. So, here in this verse 194, some of these residents of Vaikuntha are eternal associates of Lord Krishna, and others have come here by his mercy, having gained the privilege to enter. Commentary. Because the servants of the Lord are by constitution as purely spiritual as he, one may doubt that there can be any difference between the devotees and the Lord, any distinction between servant and served. Texts 194 through 199 resolve this doubt. Some residents of Vaikuntha have always been there, like Anantashesh and Garuda. Others, like Bharat, Priyavrata, Jai, and Vijay, have come to Vaikuntha from the material world and have become associates of the Lord relatively recently, having gained entrance into Vaikuntha after successfully practicing devotional service. And then 195. Although everyone equally enjoys the bliss of worshiping the Lord, certain differences are conceived. Devotees are considered relative outsiders or insiders, depending, for example, on whether they serve the Lord from afar or nearby. Commentary. In the opinion of some Vaishnavas, different qualities of devotional service earn their performers different degrees of perfection. Otherwise, in Vaikuntha, there would be no meaningful distinction between the Lord's eternal servants and newly liberated devotees. In this verse, Narada agrees that although all devotees enjoy the ecstasy of worshiping Lord Narayan, there are minor differences in what various devotees achieve in Vaikuntha. Some devotees seem to have more intimate relationships with Lord Narayan than do others. And when the Lord descends to the earth and other material planets, select devotees are privileged to accompany him. The truth is that there are no real differences in devotional achievement, only individual services. If some Vaishnavas insist on the idea of different degrees of perfection, that idea may be granted, but the differences are insignificant. Okay, I'm not going to go too deeply into this. I'm just reading these verses just to give the evidence that there are some differences, although it's described here as insignificant, because the perfections achieved by all those who render service to the Lord in Vaikuntha is that which is most satisfying to them. And the Lord gives them and reciprocates in a way that is most satisfying to them. Yet, from a relative perspective, there are some who seem to have more intimate services. We've given the example, like the gate before, like someone who's like has the service of a gatekeeper, and somebody who has a service of maybe massaging his feet, or just like Gopakumar has now, as a result of some training, he was kept at a distance for some time and given times for visitations, because as the reigning king of Vaikuntha, as we explained in the last class, these services were performed by them in different places, and they weren't always directly in the presence of the Lord, but they had all had access to be with him and to see him according to their various services. And Gopakumar, as it turns out, by Lord Narayan's mercy, he welcomed Gopakumar into a more intimate service. Why? Because a more intimate service is something that Gopakumar wanted. And of course, if we understand that he wanted it, but he wanted something even more intimate, but in Vaikuntha, he didn't get what was most intimate for him, but he got an opportunity for intimate services. What were those intimate services? He played the flute for the Lord, which was natural, spontaneous, and accompanied by others also who played the flute in a particular way. And the Lord, as we read before and spoke about before, expressed great satisfaction in hearing his flute playing, although his flute playing was not really on the same level as the Lord's flute playing. Still, he relished it and displayed appreciation for his flute playing and welcomed him for occasional service of playing the flute, which was intimate because that's what Gopakumar, that's what he liked to do, liked to play the flute. Of course, he wanted to be with his intimate friend, and still there were certain restrictions. But because he was trained, as explained here, after this initial training, he was allowed a training that he got in Vaikuntha, by the residents of Vaikuntha. He was allowed not only to play the flute, but here in this verse, he was allowed some intimate service of fanning him with the chamara. And, just like I remember, well, I personally saw it, but of course it's in many videos also, and I'm sure my God brothers and God sisters have seen this, that devotees were always, during Prabhupada's presence, they would always let somebody do it for a little while, but not too long. They wanted that intimate service of either fanning Prabhupada, or the chamara. One side somebody was fanning, the other side someone was offering the chamara. Somebody was holding the umbrella when Prabhupada was walking somewhere. And of course, there was always somebody there to regulate. Let's put it, regulate it. Just like I remember, I told you the story before of how I went to see Prabhupada in LaGuardia Airport, and we were right there to greet Prabhupada at the gate, waiting for him to arrive, and we were thinking, we were going to be the only ones there, but there was somebody there who came in shortly thereafter to regulate. The intimate devotees were allowed to be present at the gate. Those on the outside, servants nonetheless, and service nonetheless appreciated by Prabhupada, but they were on the outside. So some regulation was there. Same with the offering of the chamara and the fan, putting on the sandalwood paste on the Prabhupada's forehead. Every devotee was ahead of time, was picked. Of course, sometimes devotees did slip in, but it was regulated and by the more senior entrusted persons who knew the mood, or claimed to know the mood. And not only that, but sometimes they were very careful to stifle any potential individual expression on the part of the person who was trying to offer the service, to make sure they understood this is Prabhupada's mood, this is the way he wants it. Don't put the sandalwood paste too far. Don't make sure it's not dripping, it doesn't fall in his glasses and into his eyes. Put it on, And it's just somebody's there. So same in some degree, it's the same regulations and protocol in Vaikuntha because there was no real previous training. In fact, at the point that is very clearly, and we clearly understand that the difference that to enter into Goloka, as we said, one accepts and worships and and meditates on the service and of a Ragatmaka Bhakta, an eternal associate of the Lord, and is properly trained before entering Goloka. But in Vaikuntha, although one may get to Vaikuntha, and as we see in Gopakumar's case, it was by Krishna's mercy. He arranged it. There was no training for the protocol of Vaikuntha until he got there. And but Gopakumar had something, although he did not, at least at this point, he did not accept a resident of Goloka Vrindavan and follow the mood of that resident of Goloka Vrindavan. Nonetheless, Gopakumar had one special feature, and that is he had the mood. That's very important to understand. The mood was there. And because the mood was there, and because his meditation was always in that mood, and because by the mercy of the Lord, he already had indications from his meditation, he had indications of the kind of reciprocation he wanted from the Lord, because as we said, even before getting to Vaikuntha, he had experience of some, by the chanting of his mantra and his meditation, of some more personal, intimate reciprocation that, as we explained before, and Sanatana Goswami explains in this chapter, of the embrace, the kissing, and he had those experiences. It was because he had the mood. He still had to become more qualified. Of course, he became more qualified by Narada Muni's association in Vaikuntha. And of course, Narada Muni, he described to him in Vaikuntha the more confidential descriptions of Goloka. And it is also described, who is it? I think it's Jiva Goswami and Gopal Champu, who says that Narada Muni is actually a partial expansion of Madhu Mangal in Goloka Vrindavan. It's in Gopal Champu. It's mentioned, I believe, a couple of times there. That so Madhu Mangal, of course, is a Priya Namasaka. He is a cowherd boy, and therefore Narada Muni has in Vaikuntha, he's given him in Vaikuntha some instructions about how to properly become qualified to enter into Goloka. And anyways, we're still in Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, training is there because he obtained that without any previous training. And therefore, as explained here, after this initial training, he was allowed a regular service at the Lord's side. He earned this privilege not by his own qualifications, but by the Lord's causeless mercy, kripaya. And then, in addition, by virtue of being a naturally expert flute player, Gopakumar had the rare privilege of entertaining Lord. Rare privilege. There's some intimacy there. That although he's a newcomer, he got it pretty quickly. He's a newcomer, but he got it pretty quickly. Why? Kripaya, mercy. Nothing else. Causeless mercy. The same causeless mercy which uh, enabled Gopakumar to take his birth in Govardhan. The same causeless mercy which enabled uh, Gopakumar to get his association with Jayanta. The same causeless mercy that brought him to Vaikuntha. The same causeless mercy that we talked about very clearly, which the Lord sometimes gives himself, and sometimes, and the most usual, the rare occurrences is from the Lord, and the most usual manifestation is through his pure devotees. They give their causeless mercy, and in this way, they become qualified for obtaining the goal of their meditation. So, I was thinking also, I didn't, the thought came to me at the end of our last class, but I chose not to speak about it because there wasn't time. But this is also connected to our last class in the last verse, which also really reveals the difference in the level of intimacy that exists in Vaikuntha and the level of intimacy that exists in Goloka. Because here we're specifically speaking about intimacy. And definitely Gopakumar got intimacy, rare opportunity of intimacy, which we described very quickly. He was qualified and trained, and through mercy, he got this intimate service of flute playing and chamara. But in the last verses we read, and I think in the last class, the point I wanted to make was that when Lakshmi Devi, it was time for Lord Narayan to take his lunch. And when it became time for Lord Narayan to take his lunch, if we remember, then it was time for everybody to clear out. You know, this is the time Lord Narayan is with Lakshmi Devi and other servants who have prepared his lunch and who are answering every wish. Beck and call is the words that are used, and fulfilling the desires of the Lord to provide his lunch. But I was thinking that, again, I'm going to Goloka in this description. I'm not there in Goloka. I'm certainly not going there. I'm certainly not qualified to enter there. But I'm going there in this description, which comes later. But what happened to Gopakumar when he arrived in Goloka? Again, he's already fully ready for the intimacy right from the go. Not only does the Lord come and embrace him, begin crying, falls on the ground, faints, everybody's standing around, the birds are flying above, everybody's close to death, watching the Lord having fainted in this way. All the animals, the birds, even the non-moving trees, they're crying, seeing the Lord. And then Lord Balaram comes, and he also was pained to see the Lord in this way. And then the Lord Balaram helps Gopakumar to lift the Lord up, and the Lord of course, was so happy to see and very intimate exchange with Gopakumar. They returned to the to the village. Lord Balaram and Krishna, they were given their baths, and after they were given their baths, it was time for lunch. And when it was time for lunch, there was no like, sorry, it's time for lunch. It was no, when it was time for lunch, what did where did Gopakumar go? Of course, he was Sarup then. When it was time for lunch, Gopakumar, a Sarup, he came into the lunch table. Nanda Maharaj was on one side, his brothers were on another side. Krishna sat down, he was on one side, Balaram was on the other side, and Gopakumar, or Sarupa, says, have a seat. And he was sitting right across from the Lord. And Nanda Maharaj was taking food from his plate, and he was placing it in Krishna's mouth, and then he was filling up Krishna's plate, and Sarup had his plate filled up with so much. He was sitting right there, eating lunch with Krishna, Balaram, Nanda Maharaj. There's no question of, hey, it's time for lunch. This is the intimacy you've been hankering for. Not only that, not only was he taking lunch, but then Krishna would take some of the preparations from his plate and he would put it on Sarupa's plate. In fact, Radharani came with some ladus, and she put them down right next to Krishna. And Krishna took the ladu and he tasted it, put his tongue on it, and made a face. And as if this is bitter. And when everyone saw that face, Mother Jasoda, she became angry. And Radharani, she was like scared what happened. And all the intimate associates of Radharani, they were also completely affected. And the other associates of Radharani who were other associates who are not of the same nature as Radharani's most intimate associates, they were looking at it and saying, oh, just see, she gave them something bitter. But actually it wasn't bitter. Krishna just showed that it was bitter because he was using it as an excuse, and he took all the ladus from his plate and he put all the ladus on Sarup's plate. And Sarup had all the ladus on his plate. And then he took the ladu one by one and said, hey, these are really sweet. And he ate the whole plate. And that was, of course, Krishna's arrangement to reciprocate with everybody accordingly. Krishna got the ladus, and shared them with Sarup. He got a whole plate of ladus. And then after lunch, Krishna was washing his mouth out, and somebody gave him some pan to chew. Krishna took the pan out of his mouth, and he was thinking, he wanted to give it to Radharani, but he couldn't give it directly to Radharani because he couldn't do that, but because Sarup happens to be in the family of Sridham, who's also Radharani's brother, he showed his willingness to give it to Radharani by putting it in Sarup's hands. And Sarup took it, and he got also the pan, the badal. And in this way, so much intimacy, having lunch with Krishna. And in Vaikuntha, it was, sorry, it's time for lunch. Everybody's got to go. And everything, all the protocol is there, and the intimacy, of course, is not quite the same as the intimacy which the Lord displays to his devotees, and that special affection, of course, which he showed to Sarup. and which he shows to everyone who's a newcomer to Goloka. There's no question of anybody thinking, I'm not getting the intimate service, because what pervades Goloka is intimacy. There's no question of not having intimate service. And because that was Gopakumar's mood all along, he had this mood of wanting intimate service, intimate friendship. He had the mood, but didn't yet have the training. Didn't yet have it, but had the mood. It was that mood in his heart, which he always meditated on, which was his qualification. That was his qualification. So, this is, of course, the qualification to enter into Goloka Vrindavan, is having the mood, meditating on those who serve in that mood, and meditating on the service of those who serve in that mood, and coming under their direction, accepting that they have to become qualified to receive proper direction and training when the qualification is there to obtain it. And then, as Gopakumar shows by his example, this is the method to enter into Goloka Vrindavan. So, training is, I'm just simply trying to stick to this word training because this is the word that was used here, that at first Gopakumar could see Lord Narayan only in brief audiences. After this initial training, however, he was allowed a regular service at the Lord's side. He earned this privilege not by his own qualifications, but by the Lord's causeless mercy. So, that's a little bit on this topic. From this chapter. Oh, yes, and the next verse, I'll just read the next verse. I'll read the verse, and because it's going to begin the series of verses where the Vaikuntha Vasis are now, according to different opinions, because they don't always all have the exact same opinion. They have different opinions, but according to different opinions, they're all going to speak about Gopakumar's spontaneous outburst. And what is that spontaneous outburst? Purvabhyasa vashenanu kirtayami kadapyaham bahudocha aye Krishna gopaleti mohura muhu. By the habit of my past practice. Here we see again, by the habit of my past practice, I would sometimes loudly repeat in various ways, O Krishna, Gopal. Commentary. These two names of the Lord, Krishna and Gopal, were so dear to Gopakumar that he found innumerable ways to chant them. And so, as he enjoyed life in Vaikuntha, he was also being prepared to move on to his higher destination. The seed of discontent with living in Vaikuntha was beginning to take root in his heart. The seed of discontent. How can there be discontent in Vaikuntha? Only, it's not because, it's, as we've so many times explained, it's not discontent because somebody's missing something from someplace before. It's oh, I don't have all the different pleasures I had in Svarga, Brahmaloka, material. There's no question of discontent because something's missing from these previous associations and residents, and no, there's no question of discontent. The seed of discontent in Gopakumar's taking root in his heart is like something's missing here. That's something intimate, which is simply not, I'm not getting here, and I expect to get from Madan Gopal. Something I expect to get from Madan Gopal. And anyways, we've discussed this point before, but it will become more and more revealed and, so to speak, uh, uh, yes, it will become more revealed. I'll just leave it at that. In verses to come, in chapters to come, and in due course of time, for all of us, we should pray for the experience to come. Because although we may hear it, as we've heard again and again, and we'll hear from Narada Muni, the best way for it to be revealed is when those experiences will come. Beginning with hearing, with prayers, and meditation, and everything else that will give us the association that and inspiration of those associates of the Lord who can properly guide us so that we may be trained for such intimate service, which is, of course, most pleasing to Lord Madan Gopal. Not because it's not most pleasing to me, but because it's most pleasing to Lord Madan Gopal. And that, of course, is the mood of all the residents of Goloka Vrindavan. What is most pleasing? Residents of Goloka Vrindavan, they never think of what is pleasing to me. They only think what is pleasing to Madan Gopal. That is it. Even if it brings pain, that is my pleasure. And this is the mood which Gopakumar has in his heart, although it's not fully developed. It's not fully developed, but it will be. So we'll end here. And it's 6:45. We'll chant a little Japa today. And as I said, please remember, no, tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow's the same. But please remember, on Monday, it will not be in English. It will be Russian for the Russian-speaking devotees at 10 a.m. India Standard Time on Monday. And on Wednesday, it will be at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for North American devotees on Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. In fact, I'll put it up one more time in case it's needed to see. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Siddhi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Dira Prabhu has reminded me and reminding us that I think yesterday we lost the association of Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Swami, formerly known as Makan Lal. Most devotees remember him. I definitely remember him in that way, but we lost him. He, not to COVID, he had some spinal issues, which caused cardiac arrest twice. And after the second cardiac arrest, yesterday he departed, and we also lost our god sister Krishna Nandini, who left also yesterday, I believe. A very, very, very uh, inspiring devotee. I didn't know her so well, but her glories have definitely been chanted throughout many circles of Vaishnavas as somebody who was a friend to all, a lover of Prabhupada, a very dedicated servant, very realized in Krishna consciousness, a mother of 10 children, and who, in her own right, was very qualified to teach and to give Krishna consciousness to others because of the realizations she had in service to Srila Prabhupada. As I said, I don't know her. Last time I think I saw her was in I can't remember what the Kirtan festival is in North Carolina. Sadhu Sangha? Is it called Sadhu Sangha Festival? Yes, I was in the Sadhu Sangha Festival in North Carolina maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yes. And Malati approached me. And I was being asked to lead a kirtan on the stage. And Malati approached me and she said, when you lead your kirtan, why don't you invite God brothers and God sisters onto the stage? They'd be very happy to take part. And I said, sure, I'd be happy to. And when I went on the stage to lead the kirtan, I made a short announcement that Malati requested me, and I would be very happy and inspired if others would come and participate in this kirtan with me and maybe also lead, if my god brothers and god sisters could please come on. And Krishna Nandini, she came. I remember her definitely because she was dancing wildly. She was so she was definitely very enthusiastic in her dance. And everyone, there were a lot of god sisters were there I can't remember. I remember Adi Carter was there, and I remember uh, uh, who else was there? Uh, Kamalini was there. Uh, my god sister Ruchira was there. Uh, Krishnanandini and Malati, many others. I can't remember them all. But that's the last time I think I saw her. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please forgive me, I completely forgot. I have to start Damodarastakam in 15 minutes. I totally forgot. I have to remember these things, but uh, I'll have to end class a little bit earlier until Kartik is over. So I'm going to have to end here because I have to prepare for Damodarastakam, which will begin at 7:15. And for those who want to take part in our Dhammadarastakam, you'll have to log in again. We'll end the meeting here, and it will be ready for logging in again probably in about 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, between 10 and 15 minutes. So uh, we'll end here. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki.